ASUS introduced another budget laptop recently, and I've spent a lot of time to prepare for other reviews with this laptop, but don't actually have the time to do the review for this laptop. Anyway, this is the ASUS Vivobook 16 M1605Y. This is going to be a rather short and straightforward video, and I don't want to waste anyone's time, so let's get started with the specs of this laptop. It is available in a total of 2 different variants with a 400 ringgit price gap, but I highly recommend you to get the higher end variant because of that RAM and extra bit of performance. I promise you, it's gonna be worth the price. For our particular unit, it comes with a Ryzen 7 7730U processor, AMD Radeon graphics that I have no information about, and also 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM in dual channel mode, and also 512 gigs of PCIe Gen 3 NVMe SSD. As you can see from the specs list, yeah, this is using an older generation of hardware, PCIe Gen 3 SSD, but it's not going to be an issue since most users probably won't be able to saturate the bandwidth anyway if you're just going to use it for web browsing and whatnot. I'm also not concerned about this laptop using DDR4 RAM, I'm only more concerned about the amount of RAM available here. Having 16 gigs of RAM is the new minimum, and that's why I recommend you to get the higher end variant, and we'll return to talk about this later. In terms of performance, using this laptop in performance mode, and that can be toggled by just pressing Fn plus F key, I tried Genshin Impact at the lowest graphical settings, and surprisingly we can get somewhere near 60 FPS, and it's also rather consistent. I'm rather happy with the gaming performance overall, and especially since this is a low-powered laptop. But of course, because this is a budget laptop, the speakers aren't exactly the best. You can have a listen here. Another obvious cost-cutting measure ASUS did to trim the price down is the screen. This is a big 16-inch IPS LCD screen, and while that is not an issue to me, the screen quality itself is not really that good. Our colorimeter reports very low color accuracy, and that's why the game just looks a bit washed out. And as for the maximum brightness, it's at around 350 nits, which is typical for a laptop like this. Perhaps we can upgrade this laptop screen. If you want to learn more about it, then check out our video at the top right corner there, where I walk you through the process of how you can upgrade your own laptop screen from start to finish. The keyboard does feel okay to type on, as its travel distance is adequate enough and the keys are also bouncy enough. The trackpad is surprisingly good, as it is rather huge and the palm rejection is also decent. As for the ports available, the selection is okay, but I really wish the positions of them are flipped. Currently, if I want to plug in a high-speed external SSD on the side of this laptop, then yeah, I can't really use an external mouse comfortably, as I will just continuously hit that cable that is jutting out of the laptop. And hey, we can charge this laptop by using either the included 45 watts charger via the barrel jack, or we can use a USB-C charger to charge this laptop via that single USB Type-C port on the right side. As for the battery life, this laptop comes with a 42 watt-hour battery, and throughout my typical usage of Google Chrome, Spotify, and also YouTube in a mix, we can get around 5 hours in silent power profile, which is kind of expected given that tiny 42 watt-hour battery. The overall design of this laptop is also simplistic, but I'm just not a fan of that bulging ASUS logo. It's also rather lightweight because of its rather plasticky construction, and I will have to stop you before you head down to the comments and say, it's plastic. Plastic itself is not a bad thing. I actually dropped the ASUS Vivobook 15X K3504, our review at the top right corner there, and within that video, we were actually showing the laptop that was already dropped. Then we filmed the video, and it just looks really fine in the video. And actually that laptop is slightly crooked because the way I dropped it is in this corner, so yeah, this part is a little bit raised up, but overall it survived the fall. the screen did not crack and everything still works fine other than just some cosmetic damages. In terms of upgradability, there is one sodium RAM slots that we can mess around with, and if you bought the higher end model, then this slot will be taken up by the 8GB of DDR4 RAM stick. The SSD can also be swapped out if 512GB is insufficient for you, and the same goes to the Wi-Fi card as well. Everything else is soldered to the motherboard. So overall, for the price of just 3000 ringgit, this is a decent laptop. It's just that the screen is also disappointing. However, if you look back at older ASUS laptops, like the ASUS Vivobook M1603, then you will get a much better OLED screen at around the same price, and it is also using a much more powerful CPU too, but just less RAM and slightly smaller screen. Of course, the RAM you can upgrade it yourself if you want to, so I still think that is a better deal than this laptop. I'll leave our review for that laptop at the top right corner there or at the end screen here, so you can watch that video before deciding which laptop to buy. Also, put all of your questions down in the comment section below, and remember to subscribe while on your way there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.